Hello, and welcome to the Vision Systems Design Fall Tech Summit Quick Chat with Playora Technologies. I'm Dennis Semeka, Associate Editor at Vision Systems Design. Today's presenter is Jonathan Howe, President at Playora. Jonathan's full bio can be found by clicking on the speaker's name next to the video. Thanks for joining me today, Jonathan.
Thank you.
So now to our first question. What markets and applications are looking at AI as a way to improve manual inspection?
Yeah, so the way that we see it, there's been a lot of advances in AI and try to map that in terms of how that's going to improve from a quality inspection standpoint. So when we're talking about manual inspection tasks, visual inspection tasks, we're seeing the markets in terms of parts manufacturing, consumer goods, food and beverage, and print and packaging. And there's definitely different types of applications, right? When you're talking about the different markets, when you're talking about parts manufacturing, it's around, do I have the right parts? What's the quality of the part? Do I have the right specifications? And these are manual checks that people are doing on the parts inspection. Mm-hmm. Consumer goods, food and bev, print and packaging, you can think of applications such as labeling, where they want to make sure that they have the right label, that they have the right information on the label, or you may have so many different variants that you want to make sure that everything is okay. And a lot of that is a manual process today because it is kind of short runs, but a lot of mix of product. So it becomes challenging to automate that completely, where they still rely on that human factor. And when we're talking about applications, it can go from incoming inspection, where you're receiving goods from your suppliers. You want to check the quality of that and make sure you're getting stuff up to spec. Mm-hmm. All the way to traditionally where you think of AI and vision in the production phase of inline inspection of goods and making sure every product is produced well. To just sampling inspections, secondary inspections, final inspection before you ship it out to the customer, and also things like manual assembly tasks and just using vision and AI to help guide and make checks that you are building products correctly in that process.
Can you describe some of the current issues and how can AI provide a solution?
Yeah, for sure. So got a couple of examples here where we have one customer project that we worked on where it's in the consumer goods space, where they're a distillery and they're doing human applied labeling. So kind of looking at applying labels in the right spot. And you can imagine from a high-end brand perspective, right? The location of the label is really important, because if you're going to go to a store and you're going to look at two products side by side, one of them looks pristine, perfect quality, and then another product next to it has crooked labels or labels that don't line up. Well, what is the consumer going to choose? There's so much choice out there in terms of the actual brands that they have access to. So they had a machine, right, that was automated, but the quality in terms of the placement of the label wasn't exact. So what they had to do is go back to human applied labeling, where they had operators applying the label by hand to make sure it's perfect every time, because you do want to spend that extra detail on it. And how did we help that, right, with our AI and our vision technology? We created, using our platform, a no-code platform, where we can take that task and say, well, let's build an automation for them where it's going to create an augmented reality view and use a camera and a vision system to overlay kind of, this is where the label placement is supposed to be. So they put the bottle under the camera and augment the label application process, where they can take the label now and know exactly where to place it and make sure that it's exact every time. And because it's live, it's real time, right? It doesn't really interrupt their flow. It actually fits into their existing process. You're augmenting a manual task in that case. We have another example of electronics assembly, where we're dealing with kind of a printed circuit board manufacturer and assembly shop, where they're putting components on there. Now, obviously, you have systems like AOI automated optical inspection systems that do a really good job of catching defects up front. Where we saw the opportunity here is to complement those types of systems, because even in your final and your incoming quality control departments, they're still doing a manual visual inspection task to make sure things are good. And the human element, right? The fact that people get tired, people have different opinions on what they see. You ask some person A versus B on their opinion on is this good or bad, you may get completely different answers. So implementing a system there, which actually compared a good image versus a bad image, or the current image, you can actually use vision and AI to assist the operators to find the defects, find areas that are different between the two, and allow them to decide with more confidence and quicker in those stages, to make sure you are shipping good quality product out there. And the nice thing too is that you've got kind of traceability around that, so that you can also kind of trace back to every board that is being shipped out, and then look at snapshots to say this is the quality of the board that we've shipped out to our customer. So if there's any claims or anything that goes wrong during shipping, they can now go back to that whole database. So lots of things that you can do really through AI, through vision. And the goal ultimately isn't to replace humans. What we see where AI is being applied is how do we use it to support decisions from a human operator perspective.
So what are the primary technology advances that are leading to these new types of solutions?
Yeah, so the primary technology advances, so obviously you've heard about AI and how that's making things easier. AI allows kind of you to capture data in terms of what's good, what's bad, and train on that data. And without really knowing any technical speak, how do you can just upload the images, let the application train, then you get a model out of that that's going to kind of fit the curve in terms of how to decide what's a pass versus a fail, or what's an apple versus an orange. So that's very unique, right, in terms of key advances in technology that allow operators to tell the system what they're looking for based on how they're thinking in terms of, I think this is a good versus a fail. And kind of some of the challenges there, though, right, is AI requires a lot of data. And that's where we see kind of what we call a hybrid AI approach, in terms of we can actually start off with computer vision technologies, or traditional technologies, where it's rules-based, so people can determine rules without a lot of data, but eventually migrate to an AI-based solution, because you ultimately want the company, the business, to purchase a system that's going to be useful from day one. You don't want to wait until 6 months from now where you've captured enough data to start using it. So this allows you to kind of transition from being able to use it from day one, help you run your business better, catch the quality errors, the defects that you're looking for. And then over time, you have the upgrade path to kind of shifting over to an AI based for more automation. Some other factors we're seeing in the industry, right? No code, low code, those are key things throughout the world in terms of different business applications. You see it from things like Salesforce, marketing automation technologies. And we believe, right, in the manufacturing space, there's a huge need for no code, low code, where the manufacturers can get access to build their own tools, their own automations, using no code, low code, so that you don't have to be a technical person to create applications. So be it the quality manager, the operator, the inspector, anyone can train and build applications. They understand the business, they understand what they're looking for from a quality perspective. So you combine the business rules versus the capabilities of allowing them to develop technology and applications. That's very, very powerful in terms of advances. And then you put that all together in terms of the addition of edge processing. You've got a lot of embedded platforms, compact. When we talk to manufacturers, real estate on the desk is very important. And the compact processing units, edge processing form factor, that's all great because you get a lot of power now to run the AI, the computer vision, the no-code software all in one unit, and you put that together into a very unique solution that's really compact, powerful, and allows anyone to automate in their manufacturing environments.
Jonathan, I want to thank you again for your time today. Just a reminder for the audience, this session will be available here within the Vision Systems Design Fall Tech Summits platform for the next 30 days. To find more information about Playora or any of our sponsors, please be sure to visit the Resource Center within the event platform. On behalf of the Vision Systems Design Fall Tech Summit and our sponsor Playora, we would like to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, and thank you to Vision Systems Design.